Welcome to Garage Money Pit. The riding season's already started, but it's time to get the bike ready. A little late as usual. I'm going to make some modifications to this Triumph. The main one being, I'm going to take this windscreen off. There are multiple reasons why I'm not a huge fan. The main one being kicks up at the back. So when I'm riding, it actually directs the air kind of right under my helmet, making things really, really noisy. So you can tell there's barely any gap between the stem for the mirror and the screen here. So that's definitely a problem. The other problem is if you look in here, you can kind of tell the mounting brackets are not designed for this bike. Right? These ears that hold the headlight are supposed to go over the knob on the headlight. So the other reason is for comfort. I actually ended up taking the windshield off partway through summer last year. It's pretty humid here, which is why I wear a mesh jacket, and I'm not getting any airflow through the mesh jacket. So the plan is for these modifications to replace this with a much, much smaller screen so I get a little bit of wind protection, right? A little bit less buffeting, but essentially turn this back into a naked bike. Well, here we have a box full of Triumph parts. No, Triumph didn't send them to me. I paid for all of them out of my own pocket. So what I ended up getting were the two Triumph summer screens. This is the really small one. That it's really just covering the instruments. And I've got the taller summer screen, which I think is going up to about here. So first job, of course, is take the old screen off. It's these 4 screws. This is, by the way, one of these jobs where a ratcheting stubby screwdriver is really handy. I need to make sure that I re-aim the headlight afterwards correctly if I have to unbolt it at both sides at the same time. The manual says, or the instructions say I need to. I'm hoping that's not the case, but we never know. You can see there's this little indentation on the side of the headlight bucket, and I basically just marked its location when looking straight on there. So that gives me an idea where the whole headlight bucket has to be when I put this back together. Okay, so we had this big washer fall out. I'm pretty sure that does not belong there. Yeah, that's what was clamping in this bracket. So clearly this stuff doesn't fit properly. So one advantage of being able to swing it out this far without putting too much undue strain on the connector here is that hopefully I can just undo this bolt that holds the indicator on, again without undoing the headlight on the other side. And yes, somebody out there is probably screaming that I'm making more work for myself. And you're probably right. Okay. I'm probably going to be the first person to tell you not to do what I'm about to do, which is just have this indicator hang off the cable, because that puts a strain on the cable. This is obviously the original headlight mounting bolt. I'm not sure this belongs underneath there, but I'll keep it like this for now. If you know your T120s well, let me know if that washer is stock or not. Just put it in as far as you can by hand. According to the manual, this does not need a lot of torque, so I think that's enough. Okay, this is probably a case of void all the warranties by not following the instructions, but so be it. All right, actually went up a little bit, but yeah, we're pretty good. Okay, so now we'll do the same thing on the other side. The indicator's held in by this one bolt. The one on the other side came out okay, but this one for some reason takes a lot of force to take out. Good old Halford's 5mm. It does give me more purchase, and that means I don't have to use the regular Allen key. least for a little bit. Okay, yeah, just based on how everything else fits, I think that bracket is bent. Not much, right? Everything still fits, but it's bent a little bit. The mounting bracket for the screen fit much better on the other side. Such is the life with used bikes. Was a little bit high, but now that I mount this, okay, that's looking good. So that was the headlight adjustment. Good enough. Okay. Right, let me take you off the stand so I can show you some of the things I was complaining about. So for starters, there's a gap here that in my book shouldn't be there. Right, this is not regular Triumph quality. So something's pushing this headlight out at the top, so I have to look into that. And there's a whole bunch of extra wiring in here, but I think that's for these additional driving lights. Again, enthusiasm about this sort of additional wiring is generally well contained. Okay, they fit in very nicely and smoothly. Okay, so here we go. Oh, this looks like the size I wanted in the first place. So the other one is even smaller, but I think this is actually a really good size. And the manual did say you have to be very careful tightening these so you don't crack the windshield, which makes sense. Yeah, that's another 5 mil. Okay, this is nice. Okay, this is actually more or less what I was hoping for. So it actually looks taller in the pictures than it does in real life, but you can see, yeah, a little taller than the size of the headlight, probably another inch or so. Okay, so this is the small one. Okay, it's both narrower and yeah, it's about what, an inch shorter. It sits a little bit higher by the looks of it. And I think this is going to be a better choice than this huge monster that was on there. So yeah, I'm probably going to take the bike out for a ride tomorrow and check. So what do I think of this windshield instead of the monstrosity that was on here before? Well, I think it's an improvement both visually because it looks just much more in keeping with the bike, but more importantly, it takes some of the wind pressure off your body and you still get a lot of airflow. I haven't tested it with one of the mesh jackets yet. I've tested it with my regular climb jacket, which has a lot of ventilation built in already, and it was a massive difference compared to the F15 screen that was on there before. I also like that it fits much better and it's clearly designed for this bike. So the flip side is it does impact the touring ability of the bike somewhat, because obviously it takes away most of the weather protection that you had before. So given that I bought this with my own money, would I do this again? Yes, most definitely. Thanks for watching and see you back on this channel soon.